Speech on. Take picture. Pause video. Speech off.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In response to the 1765 British Stamp Act, a group of patriot businessmen in Boston, Massachusetts formed a political organization called the Loyal Nine. The Loyal Nine organized protests and other forms of resistance against the new taxes. But quickly, the group grew beyond its original 9 members and became more radical as it expanded. By August 1765, the group had significantly outgrown the Loyal Nine, and later that year, group communications began being signed off with the moniker the Sons of Liberty. The name originates from a February 1765 speech by Isaac Berry in the British House of Commons. During a debate on the Stamp Act, Berry, in support of the colonists, advocated for colonial independence and described patriots who resisted British overreach as Sons of Liberty. By November 1765, the underground group had spread within chapters opening in New York and Connecticut. By the late 1760s, chapters had sprung up in most of the other 13 colonies. Notable members of the Sons of Liberty include John Hancock, Paul Revere, James Otis Jr., and Samuel Adams, who is often credited as the organization's founder. Sons of Liberty members would play key roles in the aftermath on the Boston Tea Party. During the Revolutionary War, the Sons of Liberty effectively merged into the broader resistance movement as patriots focused their efforts on forming the military forces needed to resist the rebellion. With that, we come to the consent items. We have 5 items under consent tonight. To approve the minutes from February 16th, 2026 City Council meeting, approve the report of new claims, and approve the disposition of claims set for the period of February 17th, 2026 to March 2nd, 2026. Approve the liquor license manager change for Joel Stott with High Plains Supermat Inc. Approve an application for master plumbers and drain layers license for Scott Weatherhall. Approve an FPL for the Knights of Columbus, Nebraska City to be held March 21st, 2026 from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Lower Central Catholic High School for their fundraiser. Are there any items that the Commissioner would like to hold down to new business before we discuss? With that, I would move for passage of all 5 consent items. Commissioner King? Yes. Commissioner Fauci? Yes. Vice President Fett? Yes. All right, we'll now open the public hearing on the amendment to the redevelopment plan, including a redevelopment project that will utilize tax increment financing, TIF, for Nixon Enterprises redevelopment plan. I believe we have Andrew Willis with us.
Good evening, to tip a turn. I'll get you kicked off here. The redevelopment plan amendment that is the subject of this public hearing, has now been approved by the CDA, just before this meeting, and it was recommended for approval by the planning commission at the last planning commission meeting. This project site is located within redevelopment area 1A on South 11th Street between the 2027. The base value, currently the lot's valued at about $50,000, and the redeveloper has, based on some previous projects they've done, has assumed this value is going to be about $1 million when it's done. So the completed valuation of $1 million, that gives us an incremental value of $950,000, which is about $17,500 in tax increment. Again, assuming that based on the current levy and that will change year to year, but that's the number we're using. So if you let $17,500, $17,454 to be exact, over 15 years of that tax increment financing period at a 5% interest rate, that's where we get $182,500. So that's the amount that this project would support. And again, there's more than enough eligibility. As I mentioned, this planning commission recommended approval that was in line with the comprehensive plan. The comp plan encourages private reinvestment on South 11th Street, putting commercial uses there, putting new business and development around that area, and various other things. But there's fits really well with the comprehensive plan. When you look at the statutory elements that require the redevelopment project, and go through those, there's really no issue here. First, property acquisition, demolition, and disposal. This is private property. The redevelopment applicant recently purchased it in August of 2025. They are looking at potentially acquiring a small slice of the adjacent property, and then a subdivision replat. But that's part of what they're doing. There's no city property here, no city disposition or acquisition of property. It's vacant property now, so no relocation or any residence or anything like that. From a population density standpoint, it's a commercial project with a couple restaurants with no new housing, so we don't really look at any material change in population density. Land coverage, commercial building is approximately 3,300 square feet. The lots will be 0.9 acres to 1.1 if they get that additional area. Either way, this tax increment financing approval was just for the financing portion. They're required to go through all the zoning and everything else, and then they're aware of that, the developer is aware of that, and will be responsible for any from a traffic flow, street layout, street grading standpoint, again, anticipate that we're going to increase the traffic flow to the restaurants, but that's good, and that's the point.